Hello everyone, this is Candy the 614 Stitcher, and today is Wednesday, January the 1st, 2025, and this is my Flosstube Extra for my Whip Parade and my 2025 plans. I hope that everyone has had a good holiday so far. I am relaxing today and going to record my Whip Parade and do a couple of New Year, new starts, and just try to have a relaxing day. I do have to go back to work tomorrow, so we only got the one day off, so it makes it kind of difficult when you just have the one day off. I did stay up and celebrate New Year's Eve with my stitching and my friends, and actually saw the Central Time Zone New Year's come in along with the Eastern New Year's come in. So it was really fun and I had a great day. Even though I had to work yesterday also, like we didn't get any, I would just get this one day off and then it's back to the grind. So again, thank you all so very much for keeping me and my family in your thoughts and your prayers. We continually need them. And with that being said, I'm going to jump right into it. I don't know how long this Whip Parade is going to last. I will do the Whip Parade first and then do the planning afterwards, unless I can like mix it all in. For right now, because of being in North Carolina, I have a limited number of whips. So the whips that you see here are the whips that I'll be working on while I'm in North Carolina. I do reserve the right to increase the whips once I get back home, or my daughter can send me some additional ones. I actually have like 5 more that I want her to send me. So I'm hoping that she can get them down here as soon as possible so that I can incorporate them into my plans. It's just a way for me to have a little bit more variety, since I do like stitching various things. I'm not, I like to keep a rotation going, as you maybe call it a rotation, but I like to keep different projects going at the same time, and so it'll keep it fresh for me to be able to stitch on something different. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully she will be able to get that down to me sooner rather than later. So we're going to just start off, and I did excuse me for being off. I have my whips sitting right here, and I actually have them in 2 different piles. The first pile are all of my general whips that I will be working on throughout this year, or this year, and then the second pile is my year of whips, which is a Facebook group ran by Melanie Watkins that I participate in every year. These whips are ones that I have put on my year of whips board to have a finish in 2025. So there's that. So we're going to go ahead on and get started. And again, I did put my projects in alphabetical order. Hopefully I have all the cards that go with them. I do know that, what did I do with that card? One of the cards is missing out of the bag, so I was like, oh my goodness. So this very first project that I'm going to be showing you was a start for February 29th, which was Leap Day, and it is a Stitcher's Wish by Stitchy Pros. And I did start this on the 29th of February, and it is going to be going forward this year. I'm sorry, I'm going to take this out of this noisy wrapper. This year, going forward, it will be my 29th day I'll work on it on the 29th of every day. And here is where I am right now. So that is the top border and the left side of the frog's face. I am stitching this on a 36 count weathered stone. And I did start this in 2024, again, like I said, and I'll be working on it. I have a calendar that I use, and I will be working on this every 29th day of the month, except for February this year, in order to get it finished for leap year 2028. And the reason why I started it was because frogs leap. So that's why I made it my leap day start. My next whip that I would like to share is Bella Butterfly. It is this one here by Nora Corbett. And I am stitching this on card is down here in the bag. I'm stitching this on a 28 count Neptune by Color and Cotton, and I'm using all of the called for threads. And here is where she is now. So I have a lot, all of her face is done except for the beading. I need to, and the back stitching, and the headdress is what I need to work on this year. So that is where I am with that. Lots of beads, and I have everything that I need for this project in the bag, so I can work on this for sure while I'm down here, because even if I get to a point where it needs the beading and all of that, I'll still be able to do it. So that is Bella Butterfly. The next project that I am working on, I don't think this is in my, no, it's not, or that I have with me as a whip, is called Besties, and it's by Amy Brucken Designs. And they show it here as 3 separate pieces. I, however, am stitching it all as one. So it's on a long piece of fabric, and that is where I'm at on that. This project was started in 2022 on January the 8th, and I am stitching it on a 16 count Country French Rain by Witchelt, and I am using the called for DMC and Weeks Dye Works fabric flosses. So that is where we are on Besties. It has each block has a border around it, and I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to just do the border going straight down and leave the inside out, but you know, that'll be a game day's decision when I get to that part. I still have a lot to go on this. So okay, my next whip that I'm going to share is my Blue Rhapsody. And if you have been with me for a while, you know that I am stitching this pattern in purple. So mine is Blue Rhapsody in purple, and this is by Rosewood Manor, one of my favorite designers. And here is where I am on that. I am stitching this on a 32 count boudoir, and I am using Silks for You and a Vicky Clayton silk. It calls for 2 different shades, and I'm using 2 shades of purple. One is a Vicky Clayton and one is it says, oh, Silks for You, yes. So I'll look forward to getting some. These whips will be going in for like my magazine monthly. This was a birthday start for my friend Carolyn Zook of C Zook Stitch, and I started it on her birthday. The next whip that I have is Butterfly Cloche by Hello from Liz Matthews. And again, if you have been with me for any length of time, you may recall that I am stitching each of these butterflies individually. I have a finishing idea in my mind, and I'm going to go with that. So each one of the butterflies will be stitched individually. I started this on July 24th, 2023. And I am using, it is Blue Moon by Color and Cotton. It is a 28 count. And I am working on this second butterfly here. The first butterfly is done, and I'm working on the second butterfly. So that will be interesting when I get it all completed. I do have more of the fabric with me, so that as I finish one butterfly, then I can work on the next one. So these two, once I get this monarch finished, this is a monarch butterfly, once I get it finished, then I can move on to the next one. I'm only going to stitch a couple of the butterflies. So let me show you. So I have stitched this butterfly right here. I believe that this is the monarch that I'm stitching now, and I believe I'm going to stitch this blue one. I would really like to stitch them all, so it's all going to just depend on the timing. So we're going to see how much work this actually gets put into it. I'm thinking that because I have a limited amount of whips with me, which right now I have a total of 45 with me, that it will condense down my stitching so that I will have more work progress on the whips that I have with me versus having 100 whips and just spreading all the stitching out amongst them. So we're going to see. This is going to be a new experience for me because I'm not used to having just 45 whips, but we'll see. The next project I have with me is for my Stitch and Run group. If I stitch while Ymir of Almond M&M's runs, and I started this project on December the 1st, 2024, and it is called Candy Cane. It is by Candy Canes. It's by Bothy Threads, and there is a group on that we all, while Ymir is running, we all stitch in solidarity and support of her. And so there are quite a few of us that are stitching these Bothy Thread shoes. And here is where, you know, the last time I worked on this, I said I needed to put in which way is up. which way is it? Okay, sorry. So that I would know and not have to look at this every single time yeah, so I'm gonna have to take my time and really focus on where I am on this. So I need to make sure and mark this the next time I pull it out, which I'm not sure what her running schedule is for 2025 yet, so it'll all depend on that. But that is where I am for that. Now, I only work on this project when she is running, so you may not see this one very often this year at all. It just all depends on her running schedule. Sorry, I gotta make sure all the cards get back in the right spots, because okay, so the next whip that I have with me is Tiny Modernist, and the name is Cardinal Wreath. I started this last year with my friend Suki, and we started it on December the 8th. And give me 1 second, I need to write a note. And I'm stitching this on a 32 count Sand Dollar by Bestitch Me. And here is where I am so far. So I have one of the cardinals almost all the way in, or I have the cardinal. I think I'm done with the cardinal, to be honest with you. So I have the rest of the wreath to put in and the ornaments. I really was not paying attention when I started this on this fabric. So hopefully I can make this work, so I'm not using up a whole bunch of fabric for this little bitty piece. 32 count. So that is where I am now. And I'm using the call for DMCs, although for the cardinal and the ornaments I am using Cupid by Classic Colorworks because I love that red. My next project you've actually seen recently. It is City Sidewalks by Glendon Place. And even though I do not have this on my year of whips, I would like to get it finished this year. Because it does not have a card in here. And I know I had a card in here. But I started this a couple of years ago, I believe in 2021. So I would like to get it finished. That is going to be one of my focuses for this year, is to work on and finish all of my 2021s. So here is where I am on City Sidewalks. I have a couple of cars that go down here, snow, and one more building, and then I'll be completed. This project will be complete. It does have beading, so wherever you see the holes at in the tree, there are beads that go there. There are beads that go here and in here. So that is where I am on that. I am stitching this on a 28 count Frost by Bestitch Me. And again, it is on the short list for finishing this year. It's just not I had to make choices when I was doing my year of whips, and so some of the projects didn't make it on the year of whips. However, I have them, it's slated, written down to be a finish in 2025. The next project that I have with me is yay! Sorry. I don't think that's right. Okay, sorry. I just saw something that I needed, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I actually have it. So I am gonna start stitching all my snowmen with sulky threads, and I forgot that I had this pack with me. So this will work out really well because it has the white in it that I need for my snowman. So the next chart, sorry, squirrel, is Christmas Claus, which I received on the Caribbean cruise that I went on in 2022 with Miss Sheila and Miss Margaret. They passed these out as gifts to all of us. And I am stitching mine on a 32 count Fortnite Fabrics Ultra Violet. Nope, it's called Extravagant, sorry. And here is where I've gotten to. You're gonna notice a theme also. I have a lot of holiday charts with me because when I was coming down here, initially I didn't think I was going to be down here for this long period of time. I thought I would be here maybe 2 months. So I brought a lot of, well, not a lot, but I brought Thanksgiving, autumn, Christmas. So a lot of what you're going to see, which is also going to help break me out of the box where I stitch in. I like stitching in season, so there will be some that will be just like, but it's also going to help with me stitching outside of the season. So that is where I am on Christmas Claus. I can't find my card. So I don't, oh, you know what? I started this in New Jersey, so I need to look that up. I am going to put this in here. I started this in New Jersey at the Stitch New Jersey retreat. So I'm going to hold that to the side because I know the start date. I can write my card up. The next chart that I'm about to show you, you've seen recently also. It is Mirabilia Nora Corbett, the Christmas Elf Fairy. And I just realized that I made a terrible, terrible error on this chart. And I am going to have to figure out what I'm going to do. If you recall, I am stitching this by with a silk conversion that was gifted to me by Miss Susan Coates. Like, this was a whole gift. This project was gifted to me, and when she made the color key, I did not pay attention, and I stitched the white part of that coat. Is not supposed to be white. It's actually supposed to be a blend, and I didn't pay attention. And so now I am struggling with the fact that I may end up having to take all of that out and restitch it again. Now it's just, I'm stitching this on a 32 count Seraphim Sand Dune. She did provide a skin conversion for me. you'll see this again, I think, in my Wip, in my regular Flosstube, maybe not. I don't know. I just recently put in the boots and started going, working on the wing. However, I am going to, I believe that a couple of friends have given me suggestions about going over this part with just one length, one strand of the blend that I didn't put in, and then seeing how that looks. I am using MPIs, and they're not really MPIs. They are silk gatherers, silken colors. They're silken colors, and they are very, like, they fill up the square very nicely. Like, these are some great silks. Very good coverage, as you can tell. So I'm not sure that that is actually going to work. I may have to suck it up and take them all out and put them all back in again. It's just all going to depend. So what are your thoughts? Can you give me some suggestions on what you think I should do? I just think that it looks, there's such a contrast between what it looks like in the picture versus what I have, that I am like willing, I think, to take it out and start all over again, at least on that part of the coat. And it would be that part of the coat and also the arm where the color comes down into. So let me know what your thoughts are, if you think I should frog it or if I should just let it go and let it be a learning experience. I just didn't realize about the blending. Until I was watching my friend Kathleen, Snickerdoodle Stitch, talk about it, and okay, I gotta take care of this. Okay, I was talking to my friend, I wasn't talking to her, I was watching her Whip Parade, and she was talking about it, and she said blend, and immediately I was like, oh my goodness, that is what's wrong with my project. Because I'm like, why does mine look like Miss Susan is spot on when it comes to thread conversions? So I'm like, why does mine look so different? Well, that would be explain it, because I didn't follow how she had the blend made up. Crazy, 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 crazy. Anyway, give me your thoughts. Let me know what you would do. The next chart that I am going to show I do not actually know the exact start date for this because I do not have a card for it. So I'm just going to make up a date. Oh, duh, here's my card. Okay, so I started this project. It is called Christmas Carols. And I started it on January 29th, 2022. And it is by Country Cottage Needleworks. And here is what I have accomplished. So again, you're going to see a theme because I brought things with me that I thought I would be down here no longer than, I actually thought I'd be going home now. Of course, if you've been around, you know that things progressed, and I'm still here. I am stitching this on a 28 count Lugana by Color and Cotton called Succulent. So I really need to put in some more work on this also. I need to, okay. I'm running out of space on my chair here. My next project you've also seen recently. I think I can get, as it was a new start for me in December. It is, and the picture is really blown out on this because of the copying, but it is a Cozy Christmas Cottage by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I started this for Black Friday in 2024. And I am stitching it on a 28 count white. It's more like a cream. And here is where it is. I am using Belle Soie Tulip for the color, for the floss. And I love Belle Soie floss. I would urge you to splurge a little on yourself and buy at least one skein and stitch with it. It is a 12 ply, so it will go a long way. I am hoping that I will be able to use, you know, just the one skein, but if not, I do know it is readily sold. So, but I am loving the Belle Soie. I like silk altogether, but I am a thread person. I like all the threads. Like whatever project I'm stitching on, the threads, like I love cottage garden threads. Like I love all the threads. So it really doesn't bother me to use one or the other. Okay. My next project I started in 2024 for hashtag mental health care Sal that I started a few years ago to make to help with the awareness of mental illness and what it does to individuals. I have made it no secret that I suffer with mental illness, basically anxiety and depression, and so I wanted to share and get knowledge out about that so that it can reduce the stigma of people talking about mental illness and getting help for it. And so this year I started Current Mood, and this is in the Just Cross Stitch 2024 Spring Edition. It is by Stitchy Fish Designs, and I started it on May 22nd. I am using a 28 count periwinkle by Color and Cotton. And what I decided to do was, for those of you that know me and have been around for a while, I am a huge Prince fan. So I am stitching mine on a purple. Periwinkle is a purpley fabric, and I am using different shades of purple to make the rain. So each floss in the rain showers are different. And this is where I'm at. So I look forward to getting back to that. I am going to make, I'm not sure this year if I'll be starting new projects for mental health care Sal. As I have a lot of mental health care projects that I started last year. I actually started for new projects last year. Every Wednesday of the month, I started a new project. And so I am thinking that I'm going to work on those 4 projects on their birthdays. If I get the other 3 here, that's part of the 3 that I'm hoping that my daughter can send to me. My next project is Flea Market Flowers by Lori Holt. And I restarted this in May of 2024. I am now stitching it on 25 count potato Lugana over 1 with a color conversion using DMCs, but I am using a color conversion. And that is where I am so far. Sorry. Every time my phone goes off, I have to check it because it could be the hospital calling about my mom. So I have to stop what I'm doing and check. So this is, and let me show you. Here are the colors that I am using for this chart. There are a couple of more colors. I'm using a yellow and an orange also. And I am liking it much better on the 25 count. It is just going to be slow going. I have mentioned it to a couple of my friends about it, and they're like, why don't you just do a couple of the flowers and be done with it? But I like the whole chart, so I don't want to start cutting it up and taking it out. Like, let me show you what I'm talking about. What I could do, this is what I'm thinking I'm going to do for right now. So I'm going to come and just stitch this whole part right here. And then if I'm over it, I can be over it. Like, you know, I can just bring this border down and just have this as like a long strip. But then if I'm not over it, I can keep going. So that's why I'm not like stitching over here and then over there. I'm going to stitch it in a column going down. And then that way, wherever I end up being done with it, I can be done and it won't look wonky or crazy. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to say. When I get done with it, whenever that may be, I'll have a good stopping point. Because even with the original that I started, I have a nice, it'll be a nice little pillow or pin cushion or something that I could use. I'm sorry, my phone is going off again. Okay, everything is okay. Okay, the next chart that I have, I actually started at Stitch New Jersey in the 3 in 3. And it is Frosty Tiny Town. And I am working on this. I am using, it's called Hand Dyes by Jim. It's Wexford. Yeah, Wexford. 32, Wexford Fog. I keep saying frog. Fog, 32 count. And I'm using the called for DMCs. And I have a very small start on this. I did not come back to this once we, so I'll be hopefully putting some work into this. It did not make it on my Bringo board, so who knows what's going to happen with it. But, you know, that is the roof of the very first building. So I would like to get some more work in on this. I like the tiny towns. So maybe once I, you know, do some Bringo stitching, I can pull that out and put a little bit of stitching in on it for the winter season. The next, okay, I'll just start Down there now. The next whip, you'll see, you'll see it in my Flosstube that I plan on doing on Saturday. Again, but I'm going to go ahead and show it in my whip parade. It is the Circles Garden of Zig. I started this with Miss Sheila of the Sunshine Stitchers. Where's the card? See what I mean? Oh, the card is probably in here. Yep, there it is right there. I like these. I like the use of these. However, the Amazon ones are very thin, and I like the thicker ones, but the thicker ones cost so much more money. So I started this on November the 28th, which was Thanksgiving Day. I'm stitching this on a 32 count color and cotton white tee, and I am using all of the Cottage Garden threads. And here is where I am now. This whole motif, well, I added this part and up here. So, and that's where it is starting now for 2025. So it will, going forward, I'll, you know, have, maybe if I put a piece of notebook paper or something in there, it'll hold it better. You know, going forward, I'll be working on that off and on. Ink Circles is also another one of my favorite designers, so I love Ink Circles also, so you'll see quite a bit of that going forward. This next project you will recognize. It was on my here it is right here. I'm looking for it, and it's in here. It was on my year of whips for this year. However, I did not get it finished, so it is carrying over. It is not on my year of whips again this year. I did not put it on for 2025. It is Home of a Needleworker by Little House Needleworks. And I started this with Carolyn Zook. We styled it on September the 1st, 2023. She did get hers finished. And I am using a 28 count Vanilla Cream by Atomic Ranch. And I am using the Called For Classic Colorworks. And this will be a finish in 2025. I have decided that I am going to put the, I need to finish. Now let me look at this. I need to finish. It should have been a finish because I think I don't have, oh, I have a few berries over here to put in. And there's a few more berries. Oh, I know what it is also. I have all of the windows still left to do. So once I get the windows completed, I think I will be done with this. When I asked about this line down here, the general consensus is that it looked fine without it. So I am going to put in all the windows and see where I land once that is in. But I am thinking that I don't need that bottom squiggly border. So I'm thinking that this may be it. Which I'm fine with. This is going to probably end up being a pillow or something like I like it a lot. Oh, I still need to put the scissors and the needle in on it also. So there's a few things that I still need to do, but it will be a finish in 2025. I'm gonna have to check out my the way that I keep track of my projects and start marking things that, like, okay, I want this finished, I want this finished, I want this finished. And so after I get done with my year of whips, I can go to those whips and start finishing things. My next chart you will see again in my normal Flosstube. It is The Letter K Fairy by Nora Corbett. And I started this on January the 29th, 2022. I don't know why. Oh, yeah. And so I have actually put in quite a bit of work this time on it, but here is where it is now. I'm stitching this on a 28 count gray Lugana, and I'm using the Call for Classic Colorworks. There will be beads and all of the accoutrement for it. I'm still just working on the stitching. And that is where I am with it now for 2025. And I'm going to hold you out. The next whip that I have to share with you is Let's Be Thankful Row. Again, this is another project that I brought with me, thinking that I would only be here a short time. I did not, well, I will have not been able to pick it up since I've been here. And I started this on October the 18th, 2022. And I am using a 28 count Color and Cotton Fox Run. And I am doing my own thread conversion on this. This fabric, I need to chop this up. Okay. Actually, I'm starting a project today that I need a dark 28. Did I decide to do a 28 count? I don't know. Anyway, here we go. And that is where I am now. So I need to get some work in on this. But they don't get finished unless you work on them. So with me having a limited amount of projects with me, hopefully it will get some more dedicated love to it. Let's see. It's not gonna work. You know, I'm very grateful and thankful. There have been friends that have sent me fabric and flosses and all the things to keep me going. And it's different when you're not at your house or at your home in your stitchy spot doing, you know, around all of the things that you have. I have so much at home, and, you know, now I'm like trying to make it all work, I feel like. But it's been great. Everything is going good, so I can't complain. Yes, I need you. Okay, I'm going to set that right there. My next project is Lichen by Ink Circles, and this is a roll your own chart that I actually am doing something a little different on. This was initially my stitch and run chart for the beginning of 2024. I started this in March when she did her first race of 2024 for Ymir. And I am stitching this on a 36 count Blue Ridge. And I am using $37.99 for the outline. I'm using $37.99 for the outline, and I'm using Almond M&M Silk for the inside. And so that is what it is looking like right now. I still have more inside work to do on this. As you can see here, there's more to be, you know, it mirrors each other. And so I decided to go with finishing all of the outlining first and then go back in with the silk. So that is where I am on that. The next, which should have been a finish in 2024, I just, it's actually going to be a finish in 2025. Here in the next couple of days, maybe weeks. It is Mary Mary by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I am stitching this on a 32 count silvery moon, which I absolutely love. I need to find some more of this fabric. It is my perfect neutral. And I'm using the called for colors on this, the called for floss. And as you can see, there is not a lot to get done on this at all. It is actually my whip that I have with me that is closest to a finish. So you will see this again, as that was one of the Whipagory categories for this month. So I'll be stitching on this in the upcoming months. And I need to figure out who has Silvery Moon so that I can purchase some more of it. It is my perfect neutral. And I'm not necessarily a tan taupe brown, tan taupe. I have a lot of it, don't get me wrong, but if I had a choice of a neutral, it would definitely be gray. And I mean different shades of gray. That's just what I like. So my next whip is Petit Cusa. And this is one of the charts that was purchased at Hobby House when I went with my friends gathering in September. And if you recall, I am working on the pin cushion. This is being stitched. Sorry, there's something in the bottom of that bag that like threw me. I am stitching this on a 40 count Winter White by Seraphim, and I did a thread conversion. She called for MPIs, and I went with, she called for MPIs and or classic color, well, not a say, I don't know. I don't know what these threads are, but I color matched them back to Classic Color Works flosses, and that is what I'm using. And that is where I am now. And this is actually going to be a tiny piece, so I'll have a nice piece of fabric, yeah, to be able to use while I'm down here. You know, at home I have a large stash, and so it makes it, it's like when you don't have access to it, you like, oh. I mean, I have a needle, I have scissors, I have everything in here that I need. So I'm gonna have to be careful, or pack it on a trip and take it with me. I started this on October the 8th. I did start it while we were in New York, but the lighting was so bad that I didn't like the way the stitches looked, so I restarted it when I got back home. My next project is one of my favorites. They're all my favorites, and I love them all. It is Heaven and Earth Designs Purple Rain with the artwork by John Enright. And I believe I started this in 2021. I think I then restarted it in 2022. For whatever reason, I do not have good records on this. The only thing that I do know is that I'm stitching it on an 18 count fabric that was dyed for me by EJ, and I was gifted the threads by Miss Joy Lisa, and they are all anchor flosses in varying shades of purple. And here is where it is now. You will see this again in my upcoming video as I worked on it to complete my Whip Go board for 2024. So that is where that is now. I'm like trying to fold this a different way so that like this crease won't stay in there. I had thought that I would put that on a scroll rod, but when I got called down here, like there wasn't time for me to think about all of that. So the next project I'm going to share is Snow Angel, and it is by Twin Peak Primitives. And I did a color conversion on this chart. I am also stitching it with, which is why I was so happy when I saw those. Yeah, those flosses that I showed. I started this in Sulky. I started this in November of 2022, and I'm stitching it on a 14 count Nordic Blue Ada, and it says DMC, but I'm not using DMC. I'm using all Sulky flosses. And that is where I am right now. So I still need to do work on the wings, put some work in on the snowman. And I need to really do that. I will be having hopefully some upcoming travels. And if I do the outlining, I could potentially do a lot of fill-in, hopefully, if I get to travel on this project. So I need to maybe hold this out to the side. The next project I purchased at Color and Cotton when I was there a couple of years ago for the, I went for a retreat at the Silver Needle, and it is Starlight on Water by Carolyn Manning. And I am stitching this on a 32 count limited edition by Color and Cotton, and I am using all Color and Cotton threads. This chart is a DMC, is charted in DMC. We we converted the threads from the DMC over to Color and Cotton. So I'm still using the same color palette. And here is where I am now. I really enjoy Carolyn Manning charts. I've seen a couple of new ones that I'm like, oh my goodness. She just wants to keep me, she wants to keep me tied up in her charts forever and ever. I do love her charts. The next whip I'm going to share with you will be a finish in 2025, in January of 2025. And it is Temperature Turtles by Stitching Mommy. And I am stitching this on a 32 count Whimsical by Bestitch Me. And I am using a thread conversion of, I should have took this out, a thread conversion of Sulky Flosses of my choosing. I wasn't even thinking, but I needed to take it out anyway because where I need to stitch the December turtle, the Q-snap is too close. So here's what it looks like right now. So as you can see, I have one turtle left, and then I have the back stitching, and my hope is to have this finished in January. I do love it. I need to find out what color I'm going to do the back stitching in. I was thinking at first that I would use the same color Sulky as what this flippers in the head and tail were, but I think that's too green. I need a little browner shade, I'm thinking. So and I'm not for sure yet. What I was thinking about doing was using this and like stitching 30 minutes a day on it, just to get it caught up, or just to get the December turtle completed, and then I can go in and put the back stitching in also, because you know, if you know, back stitching is, and I don't know if it's necessarily back stitching with that or if they're long stitches. I'll have to read the directions and find out. So this is the last in this bucket. I have another bucket that I'm going to pull up in just one second. And that bucket will actually go more towards what my plans are. So the last project that I have with me, well, it's not the last project that I have with me. The last project in this bucket is Winter Garden by Hello from Liz Matthews. And I started this with Stacy C Stitches. And I started it on December the 1st, 2022. And I am using a 28 count Rogue Stitching Winter Creek fabric. And I am doing a thread conversion from weeks dye. I'm doing a thread conversion, and I'm stitching this over 1 on the 28 count. And here is where I am right now on that. So I have a lot of work to do. The, you know, the border in the box is all done, but now I need to start getting in the inside of it. So I have quite a bit. I wonder if I could use that. What color is that? I'm sorry, I'm looking for a color that I do not have. Blackboard. Okay. I have a new start planned, and I do not have a floss for it, and I am like chomping at the bit trying to figure out what to do. So I need to go through, because some of my bags have floss where I've kitted it up. Some of them don't. So it's kind of all over the place at this point. So I'm going to take a small break and put all of this back and pull the next bin up, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back now. So these next set of whips go along with quite a few of my plans. So I'm going to share my plans as we go through these whips. The very first thing that the very first plan that I have is that I will be participating in the year-long sale with EJ of the Sunshine Stitchers, and it is Put a Bird on It by Modern Folk Embroidery. You will see this again in my upcoming video, but here is the cover page for it. This is what the chart will look like. And I started this on December the 15th when the sale started. I am using a 46 count oyster shell by Fox and Rabbit, and I am using Cottage Garden Threads BR28 LaSalle. And it is it goes from dark to light to dark variegation. And here is where I am now. I have over 1,200 stitches in this already. And my goal for this project is to put in 1,000 stitches every month so that I can finish it in December of 2025. So here is where it is now. And I am loving this fabric and the variegation of the Cottage Garden threads on this chart. So that is plan number one. I'll be participating in that stitch along for this year of 2025. The next, so let me go back just a little bit. For Purple Rain, my plan is to put in 250 stitches each month for a total of 3,000 stitches by December. Pardon me. With the exception, so it's actually going to, with the exception that I do Tour de France in July every year. Last year, I put in 2,000 stitches in Purple Rain during the month of July, and that is going to be my goal again for this year. So I will put in a total of 5,000 stitches in the month for the year 2025, with 2,000 of those stitches coming in the month of July. So that is Purple Rain for this year. So now I am going to share my year of whips with you. And they are in a separate bin all to themselves, because when I need something for an acrostic or a pop-up challenge, or if I've met my monthly goals and I still have time in the month, these are the projects that I'm going to go to and pick up so that I can be sure and finish them within this year. So the first project is, where are you? Oh, I call myself putting them in alphabetical order and didn't. The first project that I want to share with you is Autumn Peg. I would like to see her done. I started Autumn Peg in 2021, and so it is time for her to be completed. And really all I have left to do is this section here and the back stitching to show that there are leaves there. So that should not be very difficult. Here is where Autumn Peg is right now. I'm stitching her on a 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. And I am using, with the exception of the leaves, I've used the called for colors. I actually used a variegated DMC to put in the leaves, or what this represents as leaves. The next chart that I'm going to share with you for my year of whips is Black Butterfly Sampler. It is by Shaded Stitchery. I will actually be working on this today, as it was called for number 14 in Bringo. And here is where I am. I can't do it like that. Here's where I am on that now. So for Bringo, for those of you that are new to my channel or may recall, we stitch 1 hour or at least 100 stitches on a project each day through the month of January, and then we have 5 days that carry over into the end of the month, so that we can complete whatever stitching we have. I started this project in November of 2023, and I am using a 32 count Aurora Borealis by Live and Die LA, and I am using Roxy Floss Co. Black, rustic black floss for that. And it is it is variegated, like it goes from gray to black. So I'm going to leave you out so I can work on you today. The next project on my year of whips is Christmas Sentiments by Stony Creek. And this project was started in 2021 also. I am using a 28 count Harvest Moon, and I am using a thread conversion that is similar to the called for. And that is where I am now. Okay. This is taking longer than what I had thought it was going to. Like I didn't think it was going to be like, I didn't think that my whip parade, because I don't have that many whips here. Just imagine if I had all of my whips. Oh my gosh. The next whip that I have for my year of whips is Love and Joy by October House Fiber Arts. And I started this project also in 2021 for Christmas in July, actually. And here is where it is now. So if you notice a theme, a lot of my year of whip projects are from 2021. I went through, I created a whole database with all of my whips in it, with the bulk of them. Let me not say all of them, because I still have some that are at home that I can't put in the database. I don't have the information for it. But when I was creating the database, I went through, and if it had a 2021 date, start date on it, then it automatically got moved to the year of whips. Which is why some of these other projects that I've shown that I said, oh, let me, you know, they're not 2021s. So I needed to make sure that I was doing 2021s. And I wanted to make sure that I also kept my year of whips at 10. I didn't want to have to worry as the year progressed, because I don't know what the year is going to bring. So I need to think logically and like have a game plan. My next whip is We Won Quilting Bird by Heart and Hand, and I love her charts also. I started this in June of 2021, and it is stitched on a 28 count beige with the called for DMC. It was a StitchCon start. This is actually one of the very first, which is crazy to me now that I stitch on 46 count. It was one of the very first projects that I stitched on 28 count Lugana. Like, because I was an Ada stitcher, and there's nothing wrong. I still stitch on Ada. But I was determined that I wanted to learn even weave. And so this was the very first project that I started. It's still not done. So 2021. But it will be done this year. So, see, that looks like a nice turtle shell color. Okay. The next project I'm going to share with you is Coffee, and it is by Rosewood Manor. I started this as a project with my friend Julie for her birthday in 2021. Yep, we started it. I started it on November 30th in 2021. I'm stitching this on a 28 count Queen Anne's lace Jobelin. And here is where it is. So I have a lot to do on this. This is going to be a push. Oh, I can't show you that. I was about to show you the chart. Like, look at all this I still got to do. So this is where I'm at right here. This is the part right here where I'm at. So I still have all of this to do. So it's going to be, that's going to be a stretch goal. So if you recall or remember the year of whips, you have the number of whips that you have, and then you have to finish at least half of them. So that is where so even though there's a lot on there, you know, it may or may not get finished. The goal is to get it finished. So the next 2021 whip for Year of Whips is Peabody. And this is a Heart and Hand. And I started this in December of 2021, and I'm using a 16 count Country French Rain Ada, and I'm using the called for flosses, and that is where I am now. This is one of the projects that I wish now that I knew about sulky threads when I started doing snowman stitching, because I love the sulky white on the snowman. I don't have to worry about making sure that the threads are laying good. Sulky threads just lay nice, and they're more, I don't know what to call it, but I like using sulky threads for snowmen. The next year of WIP that I would like to share with you is Kaleidoscope by Lori Holt. And I'm going to see if I can show you. This has the quilt in it and also the cross stitch. So here's what the cross stitch looks like. And I started this project in August of 2021. And I am just stitching this on a 18 count white. And here is where it is now. So quite a few, if you notice, quite a few of these projects have quite a bit of work still to put in them. But I'm good with that. I have a year. I'm not going to start panicking or anything like that. And I am participating in Bringo right now for the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge group. And all of these projects are on my Bringo board at least twice. Maybe 3 times. Some of them are on there 3 times. This is, let me share this with you. This is not on my year of WIPs. However, I am going to be stitching this project on the full moon every month. And this is called, this is part of my plans. So I should have wrote that down, full moon stitching. Full moon. That way I'll know what it is when I say it again. Full moon. On the full moon, I'll be stitching Queen of the Night by Fox and Rabbit. This project I started in October 2024, but I'm stitching it for the full moon. And I'm stitching it on a 40 count Roxy Floss Co. Night Owl. And I'm using the called for DMCs. And here is where I am now. And it's in this bucket because I tried to sort all of my things for the month, what I need for the month, in a bucket, in a bin, so that I don't have to go searching everywhere. Of course, here I don't have to search everywhere. I only got 40-some projects. Okay, not that. Here we go. This next project is on my year of WIPs to be finished, and it is Warrior by Fire Wing Designs. And I started this as a stitch along with my friend Kevin of Akio Whips. And here, it was a gift from him. And here is where it is now. So I have the wing to complete. I am right here. So I still have all of this to complete here. That's not bad for just starting it in February of 2024. I started this for the lunar Chinese New Year, because it is the year of the dragon, which is about to end. So I want to get that finished sooner rather than later. And my next year of WIP is Sunflower Fairy by Nora Corbett. This is from a magazine, and I am stitching this on a 28 count Old West by Color and Cotton. I started this in August of 2021. And here is where I am now. I did a thread conversion on this because it called for Valdanis and I did not have the Valdanis, so I did a thread conversion. I'm also doing a skin conversion on this chart. And that is my year of whips. I also plan on let me show you. Oh, there's another whip that I did not. Oh, that goes up there. So I have another couple of whips to share with you, and then we'll be finished with the whips. This is Thistles by Carolyn Manning, and this is my comfort stitch, is what I'm calling it. And what that means for me is if there happens to be a whipagory, what I'm using this for is if there happens to be a whipagory category that I don't feel like stitching on or I don't have in my possession right now, then I can pull out my thistles and put some work into it. For whipagories, which is the brainchild of Sammy J Stitches here on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, she created 5 categories, and you stitch those 5 categories, and that's what I do. I've been doing it for a year at least, I know. So this is where I am on my thistles right now. This is a full coverage also, so we will see about getting some work in on that. But it may be called, I mean, I may stitch on it during the month. I may not. It all depends on if, you know, if there's something in the whipagory categories that I'm not feeling or don't have. I could also choose to stitch on this at the end of the month if I have met all of my goals. For whipagories, I'm going to be stitching 200 on each project, or a total of 1,000 stitches for all 5 projects. There are 5 categories called Each Month by Sammy, and I do participate in that. It's a great way to keep me outside of the box. I'm also participating in Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge. You know, I love that group. I've been with them since it started, and so I will be participating in the theme and the acrostic every month. Although I don't have magazines down here, they are very loose about that group, and so I'll be able to stitch on what I have with me. I showed you my 10 whipagory projects. I am also participating in Whip Go, so I've had quite a few questions about my Whip Go board, so let me pull that up for you. So this year, in the last couple of years, I've allowed other Flosstubers / friends to decide what project I'm going to stitch for the number that was called. This year, in looking through the Facebook group, I noticed that someone just had a board with letters on it. And that gave them the freedom to choose whatever project, as long as it matched, as long as they can match the letter back to the project. And I was like, eureka, what a great idea. And so that is what I did. So in doing that, I went across and I just randomly put in letters across the board. And then assigned that letter, you know, the number, I put the numbers in. Then I assigned that number, a letter to that number. And that's what I'm using. So for example, the letter R was called, or the number 11 was called. My number 11 is the letter R. Rosewood Manor, which is also on my year of whips, coffee. So it goes, Rosewood Manor is the chart name, but I'm using the chart coffee in order to fulfill that R. The same with this. the letter 20, the number 20 was called, well, my number 20 is the letter L. So that stands for Lori Holt. And Lori Holt is the designer of Kaleidoscope. And so if the letter fits within any of the projects, I can choose whichever project I want to work on. I'm not bound by a certain project or anything like that. I can, if it has an E in it, if the name of the fabric is eucalyptus, I can stitch on it just because it has a E as the name of the fabric. It is going to be, I think, really freeing for me, and very fluid, because I have only a certain amount of whips here with me. So I needed to have something that was going to be very fluid for me. So that is my Whip Go 2025. And I have made a change with the Whip Go. I took the number from 700 stitches down to 500 stitches and or a finish, whichever comes first. Let me see if there's anything else. I don't think so. I think I've pretty much gone over it. I do plan on doing mental health care Sal. I don't know where I'll be at by May. I did talk about my full moon stitching. I talked about the 29th day of the month stitching, which is leap year. So I need to write that down, 29th of month. And so let me show you, I have a couple of things. I will be restarting for my birthday. My birthday is on Saturday. And I will be restarting Capricorn by Nora Corbett. I actually had started this project back in 2022. And when I looked at it, I only had her neck done. If you have been with me for a while, or if you are new, my new start goal is always at least 200 stitches. She did not have 200 stitches in her. I literally took the neck out and was like, okay, I'm just going to restart her for 2025. I will be 55 years old on Saturday. So I thought this could commemorate my 55th birthday, and we'll go from there, because you know, you always need a reason to start something, right? No, you don't need a reason at all. And the last thing I want to share with you is I have been doing these little Mill Hill kits. I'm trying to do little Mill Hill kits. So I will be working on one of these a month. I'll start on like the 14th in the middle of the month, because by the middle of the month, I'll usually have the bulk of what the acrostic and theme and whipagories and whip go and all of those. I'm hoping to have that all pinned down and some good stitching done already on them, so that I can pick one of these up a month and finish it. I had planned on doing an ornament a month last year, and along with Miss Dina, I've had this cross stitch in her group of friends, and it just didn't work out for me. So I'm thinking if I have something that's just like all the threads are there, everything I need is right there, that it'll be more, I'll be more anxious, or not anxious, more enabled to do the stitching on the project, so that I can get a little ornament done every month. Because I actually have plans to for them. You don't need to know all of that, but anyway, I thank you all so very much. I did not realize that this was going to be as long as what it has been, but I hope that you enjoyed it. Again, these are all of the whips that I just have with me now. I do reserve the right to incorporate more whips as I return home or they get sent in. My daughter is going to send me 5 more that I, because I didn't bring any of like my Representation Matters charts with me, and I am going to be here through February, March, so I really need to get those down here. So she's going to be sending those to me, so when they come in, I'll share them with you. I hope that you all are having a very good day. I know this is the start of a new year, and I hope that this year brings you all the joy and happiness that you deserve. And I hope to see you again really soon. I do plan on putting up a video on Saturday. So see you then. Bye, everybody.